What's up guys, Hades here. So KVK just ended. I love getting to see and talk with a lot of subscribers and people that just wanted to say hi or talk about their March, but I got a suggestion and I wanted to dive into this because I really do a lot of the high spending, high level content, but I never really dive into the more basic builds, the more simple builds from the start of the game. So I'm gonna go and do that now. Someone asked me what about the Zeno Charles YSS team with Alex, so picking Charles or YSS. And I'm going to show what that would look like right now and give some of my background and explanations on it. Now, the key to building any team is the foundation. For Alex, his is very, very simple. These three skills, Cleave, Wind Rage, and Assembly Charge, have been his best for a very, very long time. Now he does have two setups and I made an entire video about that, but these are easy to obtain and I just think these are the best. I've used these the most by far. Some people like to use Blade Vortex with like Demonic. You can go that route if you want, but I prefer these. So what does the rest of the build look like? Now we're going to disregard power. I don't have these heroes leveled up at the moment. But you do want to work on the artifacts, they matter. Focus on Alex first and then Elizabeth. And then you're going to want to fill out the core. Now, what does that mean? The core means the auras, because auras are extremely limited. Now, Spring of Life in the early mid game is by far the best aura. It's not even close. It improves your healing by 25%, and whenever you get healing, you take 15% reduced damage from everything, which is incredible. Now, the key to Spring of Life is you need to proc it as much as possible. So, in the early game, you can just put on Berserker as your second aura, because now all of your heroes heal 30% every single auto attack, which means they're always getting that 15% boost. So I like this combination as the core. Now we need to fill in the core. The best skill in the early game, by far, next to it, is No Escape. No Escape is now going to silence the entire enemy team and have a chance to stun them, which now provides you priority. So Alex can't be stunned or harmed, so he's already going fast. And then all of your other heroes are going to be ulting first, assuming the opponent doesn't have this and stuff, right? Now, if they have it, you need it to match, but that's an entire different story. Next, because Alex is a carry, I'm going to want to guard him. I want to guard him. After 10 seconds, all damage that Alex would receive gets transferred onto Charles. Why do I want this? In this game, the more HP you have, the more damage you deal. And as you take more damage, you deal less damage. So how much damage you deal is contingent to how much HP you have remaining. So I want to guard him. Now, there's 2 more slots, and there's quite a few things you can do. It's very flexible here. If they are physical heavy, I like to throw Oaken Guard somewhere in the mix. If they are physical attack heavy, like, you know, they have Alex or Hannibal or something like this, I like to go Toxin Barrier. If they have anti-heal, I like to throw in Purification. Just generally good skill is Energy Shield. If you just need an item, this is the one. And then I would use this as this last slot as a filler spot. This really has to be flexibility. If they have 2 physical carries, you have to go with Oaken Guard. If they have a mage that's killing you really quickly, you need to go with Resist. If you want even more control in the fight, you need to go first, you can do something like Energy Suppression. There's lots and lots of options. If you want more healing, you can go Vitality Touch. Now, if you want this build to get a little bit more expensive and you're looking to buy legendaries, so maybe this a little bit higher tier, you're going to want to swap out the Berserk with Fountain of Life. Fountain of Life is just better. It's not an aura. And now I can move energy shield away and put an aura here, right? I can go for crit. I can go for fear domination. When they get low, I deal more damage. I can go for malice if they're critting me like crazy, right? Now I have flexibility. So that's just another option if you want. But I'm going to keep this pretty simple for today. So let's go like this. Energy shield. And this can be a flex spot. We're just going to put Oaken Guard or like energy suppression or something like that. Now for your backline carry. They wanted me to make this type of build just for a suggestion. So I'm going to go with Elizabeth. Now, I don't think Elizabeth is super great in this meta. We're in a burst meta. It's very hard to do anything if you can't burst. And Elizabeth is just a little too slow because she takes 2 ultimates. But if you are not in the huge burst meta and your server is pretty new, Demonic is so good. Why is that? Well, we need to break down Liz a little bit. Her ultimate inflicts damage onto 2 random enemies for 15 seconds. Now, she's basically going to attach it on them and slowly bleed them down, right? This is 250 sustained damage. And when she ults her second time, that's when she really kicks off. That's the second part. If she hits the same hero with her ultimate again, now it's going to burst everyone for 530, and they have a chance to get stunned, which is really nice. And the problem with her is the randomness. So you could easily hit the 2 backline with your first ultimate, and then you hit the 2 frontline with your second ultimate, and then the fight's over and you never got to do your burst damage, which kind of stinks, but that's the reality of it. But if you hit the same 2 heroes twice, you're going to almost instant win because you're going to do 1,000 damage to everyone. However, we want to ramp up our damage. Because she takes so long, we're going to ramp up our damage to 100%. That's going to be her best way to go. Second best skill. If you want to make it more expensive, it's energy mastery. But I'm going to keep it cheaper for this video. We have the new skill Blade Dodge. I like Blade Dodge a lot on her. One of her next best abilities is Executioner. After you inflict continuous damage 8 times, so remember she deals damage to 2 every 3 seconds. So it's going to be 2 times 3. To give you approximate time, it kind of depends on your skills and if you go a second time or not. But it's going to deal a big burst damage, and if they're below 50%, you're going to get that bonus damage, right? So she is a tick damage hero, and we really like Executioner. Her final skill can be quite a few things. You can go with Unyielding. This is going to heal you and add some crit damage. You can add Time to Shine, again, more damage with crit. And you can do things like Battle Stance to go even slower, but then when you come out of it, deal more. I'm not a huge fan of Battle Stance, but it does work. And you can also put Blade Vortex with Executioner. These 2 things together make her do a lot of damage. Now for some flexibility. This is not the one and only way to build this. There's a lot of ways to build this. For example, you could make Alex more tanky. You could take off something like Cleave and add an aura. And then instead of guarding, you can side assist, right? Now we're making Elizabeth the main carry. But I'm not a fan of guarding and assisting. I think that's not quite optimal. There's probably a better way to do things, right? So I'm going to swap it off. I'm going to make Alex a little more protective, help keep the Elizabeth alive, or I'm just going to swap this to YSS and just add all the tank stuff. I'm going to go in with Oak Guard, Purification, Energy Shield. I'm going to get maybe a Healing Aura. Maybe I can add Malice. I can add Energy Suppression. There's a ton of support stuff like Vitality that would help YSS boost this team, right? But then you're solo relying on Elizabeth to be the carry, and she's going to have a really good artifact if that's going to be the case. So I hope you guys like this kind of more beginner guide with the kind of early mid-game skills, no legendary stuff. There are some easy adaptations if you want to make something like this. I do not recommend in this current meta at the highest level to playing Liz, but if that's what you already have and you've got her specialization high, then it is what it is, and you can make her work. I have made her work, and I do have a video on her that I made quite a while ago, so go ahead and check that one out. If you like these videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.